Hi, this is Danny J. Lewis. I'm a course developer and tutor here at Point Blank Online. And in this video, what I want to do is take you behind the scenes on my new single, which is called Bump the Bounce. The key thing about this track is that I'm giving away a Ableton Live instrument rack as part of the release. So if you buy both of the tracks in the release, you're going to get it. So I'm going to feature that in this video, but also what I'm going to do is I'm going to talk about the influences behind me actually making this track, and then also take a look behind the scenes at the actual production methods that I used at certain points in the tune to give it that very distinctive sound. So let's talk about the influences for the track. Last year I picked up a lot of vibes from different styles because of the course development work that I've been doing at Point Blank, and this kind of bass music, UK focused sound. People like Eats Everything, people like Julio Bashmore, also Ben in his Breach guys, Ben Westbeach. So this kind of bass heavy, almost kind of tom and electronic percussion heavy style of music, and I wanted to do a track that sort of referenced that flavour. So that was one of the key decisions behind choosing something like the tom that I've got on this track. And so I wanted to make something that has this UK bass kind of influenced flavour, but also to reference some of the other stuff that I'm into as well, and also things from the past such as the 4 to the floor UK garage vibes as well. So when you listen to the tune, you'll hear a lot of influences all coming together. So let's take a look at the toms firstly. So I've got the tom track highlighted, and I'm going to take you to a section just before they come in. So I'll take you through the chain and some of the decisions there. So I'm soloing the tom, and you can see that we have an instance of simpler, and this is being used to play this. The MIDI sequence here, I'm going to zoom in so you can see it. So I'm pitching this up and down, and so that's become a musical sequence. And toms, originally you wouldn't have expected them to become musical elements, but I've got a track here. I told you about my influences before. This doesn't have a bass line. This has the toms fulfilling the role of the bass, so it is actually pitched. And I needed to detune that to make that fit the musical elements in my tune. So the other thing that I did, filter here, high pass filter at 52.6 Hertz to clean out some of the low sub. The release was quite crucial because I wanted something that wasn't too long to make things mashed up, so I had to reduce that. And I've got that to 990. So I'll show you what I mean. Let me take it to the section where that comes in. That's how it was originally. I need it to be nice and punchy, so that's why I've gone for the 990. So also the next item in the chain is the saturator. So the saturator here is adding some extra harmonics. What I'll do is I'll take it off and then bring it on so you can hear the difference. It's got this fizzier, more energetic sound to it. After this, you can see a utility. When I'm in the middle of working, sometimes I just need to make a little quick fix at volume at certain points. So at this point in the chain, I just wanted to make things a little bit louder. Then flowing into the vibe EQ, so I'm using this just to roll off some frequencies at 240 Hertz, very slight amount, 3.2. I like the sound of this EQ, okay, so the Stillwell Audio Vibe EQ is one to check out. It's based on the Pultec EQ. After that, auto filter, you can see this is automated, so this is happening at a specific point in the tune where I needed to thin the sound out and give it some extra energy in the breakdown. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to show you here, show automation. You can see now what's happening. I'll take you to that section. Let me take the solo off. Here, the high pass filter gradually reducing. It's a thin sound at the moment. it gets thicker as time goes on. So it just creates a nice different contrast in the breakdown. And this isn't very different breakdown to the first one. That yet, so we'll come around to that in a minute. Now, whilst I'm here, I just want to talk about this compressor. I had originally had this on as a sidechain with a kick, but to be honest with you, I felt that it was taking away too much of the dynamic energy of the tom itself, you know, at the time when the kick was happening. So the punchy, aggressive front end of the actual tom itself, you know, the attack portion was being rolled back, and it was losing the energy that's really, really important in this. So I did a trade-off. You know, I used the EQs to get the two to sit together nicely. So that's the tom. And the other thing you're probably thinking is, what was that sound? If you take it back to the beginning, look, I'll show you. We've got this rising kind of hyped texture. Take a look over here. The send level is being increased. And I'm going to bring the returns on, and you can see now on return A, I've basically got a chain with the frequency shifter, and this is creating variation in the actual tone of the tom. So we'll come back on here. Also a little bit of ping pong delay return, CMX for widening, and I'm rolling off the bass on the effects return. So you can see that frequency shifter coming up to create that really interesting rising hype. And also you'll see at certain points there are some reverb automation going on, and not sure about the other things here, I can't remember. It's been a while since I actually created this, by the way. It's been sitting around for a good few months. So also, let's take a look at that first main breakdown so you get a vibe on that, because I was talking about that a little while ago. This is where the synth comes in and is used quite heavily. Let me take the returns off. So we take a look. Chords. This is my custom synth, and this is exposed. You can see what's going on inside this, some of the chains. So this is a combination of an operator, another operator. This is the electric, and then also another operator here. So these are the elements that are creating this chord instrument, something that I ended up calling the DJL Ultra Pad, which is the instrument that I've given away with the release. So this is coming in over here. Let's have a listen to this in the breakdown section. Notice the automation on the individual elements here. There's 4 layers on this pad. Now look, just going to show you here, pitch bend in the actual clip envelope, and also a big feed to a reverb. So you heard that, it creates that really intense flavor. And talking about reverb, I just want to show you one here. Just going to solo. So that was basically a burst of automation. Let's take a look at this. So I'm feeding through to a reverb. Okay, that's over here. This is D. Let me show you. There's the reverb itself. So that's Live's reverb, and automating the dry wet mix as well. So we've got a lot of creative scope there. So actually what I'm doing is I'm stopping it dead. So look, here we go. Watch this. Coming up to the next section. Somewhere over here, I think, actually, where I do the stopping dead. There we go. I knew it was somewhere. I'm glad you saw that. I was about to give up on that. But, this is a funny thing about, when you have your own projects, it's very easy to forget where certain elements are if you haven't worked on them for a while. So, you can start to get a feel for what's going on here. The track is very much based around that tom. It's the beats, it's the percussive elements, the vocal stabs that are there. The synth is very, very important in this tune. It's used as one of the main musical sections in the tune. You saw the automation going on there to work with it, and it's used in a different way later on. So I'll show you here. What we've got is this other breakdown section, and the elements, the individual breakdown parts here are very, very different. So we've got the 4 layers, and these are automated in different ways. So I'll take you back to that section. These layers here were automated, so different volumes of those layers. That's creating that texture. Once again, that big reverb send, you heard that there. So, I could go on for ages going through this. I'll just try and think of a couple more key elements here because time is tight. We don't want to drag on too much on this video. So here, the blips. This is a real kind of old school UK garage kind of influence. So let me just take the solo off here and I'll show you. So back onto that. These were basically a little custom patch that I created using Operator. And you'll see also I'm using the MDEX effects here. I really like these effects. These are from Korg. I bought the bundle, the digital bundle, and it's got a whole load of really nice effects in there that sound to me like the old vintage hardware we used to use back in the day. So the blips, here we go. Let me solo on here. This is a sound that I created in Operator. So it's an FM sound. Just going to take away these layers and you can hear breaking down just a sine wave. And these other oscillators come through and they create that nice kind of mallet texture. And that's running through the MDX for some space, as you heard. And some EQ there to thin the sound out. So, there's a lot going on in here, and it just goes to show the amount of work that needs to be put into a track to make it interesting. The automation is the key to really providing the flow of the track and making it varied as it progresses. So that's it, a little behind the scenes tour there. If you buy the release, you can get hold of the instrument rack and you can play around with it for yourselves, and it's a really, really good synth.